Hey, Go Green here. Our friend Curtis is here to teach us about making tea.
So we talked about tea tools and pot care earlier. Now we're going to make some tea. The tea that we're making today is actually a ginseng green tea, which is an infusion of tonic ginseng herbs and an oolong green tea, produced in Taiwan, but originally purchased in Shanghai, China. You'll notice that I've just spilled a little. And we start by taking out a reasonable measure. This varies according to each pot, but essentially you want to fill up the bottom and a little bit more of the pot. The loose grains and leaves go back to their storage spot and get used another time. If you're really picky and you don't feel like drinking them because they've touched the table, you can flick them away, but that makes you into like a tea hipster. So what we do now is we rinse the leaves. This helps get them started because when they are produced, they are curled up into tight little balls, and this helps wake them up a little. Just a quick fill in the teapot, and now we pour into the strainer what's called foot water. It's called foot water by most people who drink tea because although it is part of the tea process, you wouldn't drink it. It's not really worthy. It's got bits of twigs and dirt and other things in it that you might use to clean your feet, but that you wouldn't pour into your mouth, hence the name. So having done that, I now start the first brewing of the leaves themselves. The amount of time this takes varies according to what type of tea you're drinking, the season, of course, the quality of your pots, and so on. I'm gonna give this one about 30 seconds or so to get ready. And now I'm going to take the cups, handling them ever so carefully with my tongs. And I'm going to get them warmed up as well by pouring in the warm foot water. This is sort of like washing them and prepping them. In a science lab, you would do this with all your equipment in distilled water or a slight sampling of whatever you were using. Because we're using the tea, that's what we start with. So, the tea brews while that sits. You make some chit chat with your friends. Hey Brad, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good, Curtis.
Yes, it's nice to see you again. That sort of thing.
It's great to be here.
And then, when your 30 odd seconds are up, you're ready to pour the tea. Now, because of the size of the pot, I'm going to put the first brewing and the second brewing together. In many circles, be it Chinese medicine or Chinese tea, there's a general atmosphere of thinking that says that the second brewing is always the best because the first one is sort of on its way up and the second one is where things really come to fruit. And here, by putting them together, you get a little bit of the best of both worlds. Now, because I'm seasoning this pot, I pour the cups out over top. They're nice and warm, the tea's brewing, and this cup is ready for use. The second cup, similarly. If there's foot water left over from the first pour, you can also put it over the top of the pot. It, as I said, helps to season the pores of the pot as the pot ages. I use this pot for a variety of types of tea, so I'm not too particular about it. But some people use a pot for only one kind of tea, like it might be just one pot for pu'er or one pot for oolong. Again, that's a personal choice. People make it according to their own whim. And now that the second brewing of the leaves is ready, pour that also into my receptacle, straining it away, of course, to make sure that any residual ginseng powder or ground leaf powder, again, some leaves come with twigs and sticky bits in them, so you can see that the strainer catches all of that, keeps it from getting into the cup itself, and now we're ready to pour. First, of course, for the guest, and then for the host. and the tea's ready to go.